What's up, you guys? So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about one of the greatest guitar players out there. He's one of the guitar gods, and his name is Eric Johnson. You probably already know him. You've probably seen him playing with in G3, maybe jamming with Osnori, or just playing with a solo project. And you might just know him as one of the guys, one of the best tones out there, one of the best guitar tones out there. So let's get to it real quick. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about, and it's probably one of the most obvious things if you know about his playing, is pentatonic work. Okay, he's a master of playing pentatonics and doing tons of shapes and note groupings and different things to make the pentatonics sound amazing. The other thing that makes it kind of hard is that he plays incredibly fast. But it doesn't sound shreddy at all. He has an amazing tone, and everything he plays sounds incredibly smooth. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about in terms of pentatonics is note groupings. The first type of note groupings I'm going to be talking about is 6 note groupings. Okay, 6 note groupings. We're going to be playing 6 notes, and then we're going back a string, playing 6 notes, back a string, 6 notes, over and over until we get to the 6th string. So it's something like this. So what you do is you start on the G. I'm going to be playing the E minor pentatonic scale. You start at the G note, the 15th fret, and we're going to play 6 notes from there. You're going to head back down a string, down to the B string or the 2nd string, however you want to look at it. And we're going to start from the D, and we're going to do 6 notes again. And back down again, 1 string, 1 more string, and that's it. Now the next note grouping I'm going to do is groups of 5s. This one's a little different than groups of 6s. In groups of 6s, once we played all 6 notes, what I did is I went back a string. In this case, I'm going to go back to the next note in the order of the pentatonic scale. So for example, again, we're going to start from G, and I'm going to be playing 5 notes. Then I'm going to get back to the E note, back down to D, B, on and on and on. Now the next thing I'm going to be talking about in terms of pentatonics is something that I already talked about on my Zach Wild video. It's pretty interesting how Eric Johnson and Zach Wild, some of their vocabulary is very, very similar. But when you listen to them playing, it sounds completely different. And you can tell that one of them is Zach Wild and one of them is Eric Johnson. One is very, very aggressive, very powerful. And Eric Johnson, the other one is Eric Johnson, which is very smooth, very flowing, and everything just is kind of mellow. This is called horizontal pentatonics, because I'm playing the pentatonic scale in a horizontal fashion. Here we go. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is harmonized 7th chords. So I already talked about the harmonized chords in my chord tones versus key center video. What the harmonized scale is, it's just the notes, it's just the chords that are derived from the scale. In this case, the major scale. In this case, in the G major scale. So we have G major 7, we have A minor 7, we have B minor 7, C major 7, D7, E minor 7, and F sharp minor 7 flat 5. And the voicing that I'm going to be arpeggiating is the 1 or the root. Then I'm going to be going to the 5th, to the 3rd, and then to the 7th. So the voicing is going to adapt for the chord that we're playing. So when we're on G, we're going to do 1, 5, 3, 7, because it's a major 7 chord. Well, let's say we're on B, which is a minor 7 chord. We're going to be doing 1, 5, flat 3, and flat 7. Same thing is going to happen for the A chord, the A minor 7 chord, it's the same thing. 1, 5, flat 3, flat 7. Now it's also going to be different on the D chord, which is the 5 chord. That's a dominant chord. It's going to be 1, 5, 3, flat 7. And then the last chord we're going to be working with is a F sharp minor 7 flat 5, which is 1, flat 5, flat 3, flat 7. Alright, here we go. You can also do this starting from the 5th string. You can also play around with the same type of arpeggiating move, but instead of doing 7th chords, you can just use plain old triads. And it sounds something like this. Now the next concept I want to talk about is pentatonic weaving, or at least what I like to call pentatonic weaving. What I mean by this is that we play the pentatonic scale, we mix it around with the different modes or the different scales that we want to play with. In this case, I'm going to be playing the Dorian scale. So for example, I'm going to play the E minor pentatonic scale. Now I'm going to play the Dorian scale. Now for this next example, I'm going to be playing around with both the minor pentatonic scale and the Dorian scale. And it's going to sound, you can tell that I'm thinking pentatonic when I'm playing pentatonic, and you can tell when I'm playing Dorian, when I'm thinking straight out Dorian. The next thing that you can do is play the dominant 11th arpeggio. This sounds a lot like Eric Johnson. The reason behind this is that Eric Johnson likes to play Mixolydian a lot. And if you listen to some of his songs or some jams, if the track that's going on behind them, if the harmony is moving in 5 chords or power chords, he tends to play Mixolydian for each one of those chords. So this arpeggio sounds a lot like what he likes to do. Here we go. Now, and that's another thing you can do. You can play around with the minor pentatonic scale and add in some notes or do some pentatonic weaving with Mixolydian. And it's going to give you a sound very close to what Eric likes to do. The last thing I'm going to be talking about is a quick pedal point idea that he tends to do, and you can hear it in a bunch of his songs, or if you find videos of him jamming with other people. It's just a pedal point move. What this means is that you keep on playing the same high note over and over while you're moving the other notes around. So for example, so I've been talking about a lot of the concepts that he likes to play. If you want to learn how to play the pentatonic stuff that he does and how to get it and how to figure out all the patterns that he's doing with his picking hand, you can check out Troy Grady's videos on Eric Johnson. They are amazing and they are incredibly detailed in terms of what Eric Johnson is doing with his right hand. So you can take that speed technique and mix it with these concepts, and you are well on your way to playing like Eric Johnson. Alright, so that's it for this video. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys learned something new. Remember to follow me on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can also follow me on my official website, juanantoniomusic.com. Alright, thanks for watching.